Hey there, athletes and parents. Looking for a tool to help your child get recruited? Look no further than Clifton Kennedy and Winning Edge Digital with websites for high school athletes. So whether you play football, basketball, baseball, soccer, or any sport, we cover it all. These websites have everything you need to get started on your journey to becoming a collegiate athlete. Check out Clifton Kennedy and Winning Edge Digital with websites for high school athletes. That's winningedgedigital.com. You can call us at 864-272-2720. Again, that's 864-272-2720.
All right, everybody. Welcome, everybody, to the Tuesday Tiger Talk Show here on the Winning Edge Sports Network. And to say tonight's show will be something great is an understatement. Tonight, we're going to have a packed show. And to start, let's introduce our team, a.k.a. the Fanboys. First off, co-hosting Mike in crime, Mr. Anthony Weeks. What's up, Anthony?
Hey, how we doing today, Jay? You doing all right?
Doing pretty good, man.
First up, we got a writer for SI, Illustrated. Also, we want to thank you as you serve our country in the military. Mr. Scott Green, how we doing today?
Doing good, guys. Just excited to look into this Syracuse-Clemson matchup. Looks like it's going to be exciting. When it's my chance, I'll give you guys the bare bones numbers and just some of the things and insights to look for. But I appreciate you having me.
Yeah, great to have you on our broadcast. And then, folks, this guy, is he in here? I'm sorry. Can't see. Boog, yes, he is. This guy is our guy on the spreads. And this guy is the man when it comes to the spreads. He is the
man of the hour, lady screaming power, too hot to trot, too sweet to be sour. He's going to set the record straight because it hopes that it is not too late. He's going to rock your people's mind with these and the help from the maestro, if you please.
Welcome,
How y'all doing today, man?
We're good. How about you?
Oh, yeah, just going over my notes, man. I picked 10 games, man, 10 good games this weekend. It's going to be an exciting schedule. Excited to tell y'all who I got, who we going to make some money with, man. And I gamble to win, not to lose.
That's great. That's great. Okay, folks, without further ado, our last gentleman is the founder and co-owner of Winning Edge Sports. He is the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Clifton Kennedy.
What's up, fellas? How you doing? What's going on?
Nothing much, Cliff. How you doing?
I'm doing good, man. Just chilling, waiting on this show to start, you know.
Hey, Cliff, can you tell us a little bit?
Jay.
Can you tell us a little bit about Winning Edge Sports Network?
Yeah, I sure can. So, again, my name's Cliff Kennedy, and I own Winning Edge Digital, which is the parent company of Winning Edge Sports Network. And, basically this company is founded on helping young athletes and helping up-and-coming athletes that are having, trouble getting found. And so I came up with an idea of why not help athletes that need a website and to help them brand themselves and really get their brand out there and not just use huddle film and not just use, the basics. So when I started this company, I said, I want to create a website because my background is web development. So basically what I do is I build athletes a website. So instead of them having to send all of their huddle link, their max prep link, whatever other links, instead of having to send 3 links to 2 or 3 different coaches, they can just send 1 link, and that 1 link will have their huddle link, their photos, stats, anything. And I'm not just about helping young athletes. You know, if you got a college athlete that's heading off to the pros, or if you got a college athlete in general that is wanting to do something with NIL, I do stuff like that too. So that's basically the background of how Winning Edge Digital was formed. And so that's a lot about my company in a short amount of time.
Hey, we appreciate it, Cliff. Hey, Jay, we're going to let you take it away.
All right, fellas, we have a lot to go through. First of all, Clemson Sports Snapshot is brought to you by Silver Cloud Photography in upstate South Carolina. Call EJ at 864-309-3358 for your wedding, party, and graduations. Silver Cloud Photography is the best bet in the upstate of South Carolina. This week in Clemson Sports, Lady Volleyball dropped 2 big games, first to number 11 Georgia Tech, then to Duke on Friday. Lady Tigers are 11-9 overall, 2-6 in the conference, and next up is Syracuse this coming Friday. Ladies Tiger Soccer this past weekend tied 1-1 with Syracuse, but did score a point in the overall conference title. Renee Lyle scored on the 16.28 minute. Men's soccer this week fell to both UNC Greensboro and Virginia, both by the score of 2-1. Usman Kelly versus UNC Greensboro scored on the 51st minute, and Mohamed Zay versus Virginia on the 67th minute. Next game is Friday versus Louisville at 7 p.m. and Monday versus UMass at 7 p.m. In women's golf, the Battle at the Beach versus TCU is on October 28th through 30th. Men's golf is going to be at the Golf Club of Georgia October 21st to the 23rd. Women's lacrosse will have a big weekend. On Sunday, they will play 3 games: Mercer at 10 a.m., Liberty at 11:30, and Gardner-Webb at 1 p.m. All these 3 games will be at Clemson. And the Clemson rowing will head off to the Charles Tourney on October 22nd through the 23rd. And finally this weekend, Clemson baseball versus East Carolina at 11 a.m. on Sunday, and softball versus Wingate Friday at 6 p.m. Now let's get to our next thing, which is our recruiting limo, brought to you by Ride and Shine Detail of upstate South Carolina. You need your car cleaned or shined, call Sean at 864-437-6150. No car, boat, trailer, or limo is too big or too small. Call Sean today. Okay, let's get to that limo. Hey, Anthony, I see a limo pulling up. Who's inside of it, man? Ant.
I'm sorry, I lost service for a little bit. What'd you say?
Is Ant inside the limo?
I was about to say, who's in the limo, man?
Is it Mr. Lawrence?
Oh, yeah. Hold on one second. Hold. Wait. Here's the first limo. I'm opening the door now. Hot dog, Zachariah Owens, offensive tackle, 6'7", 350 pounds, out of McDonough, Georgia. Great to have Flapjack back in the fold. That's right. Zachariah Owens has been recommitted to Clemson. Now, quickly left on the board, yet to get into that limo to come into Clemson, we have Tamara Parker, defensive end, Caden McDonald, defensive tackle, offensive tackle DJ Chester, offensive tackle Spencer Fano, athlete Mason Kelly, cornerback Khalid Barnes, and running back Deron Wilcox. Those are the guys that are still left out there with offers that Clemson has. So, now, well, hey, Anthony, there's another limo pulling up. Can you get the door for me there?
Yeah, I got it open. Who we got there?
Oh, heck. Holy cow. Guys, look who just showed up. Lawrence Bangra, the 2025 linebacker out of Thibodaux High School in Louisiana with a 3.66 GPA, also a track and field star. Hey, Lawrence, welcome to the show.
Hey, how are you doing?
Hey, pretty good, sir. Hey, we want to just ask you a few questions. First of all, glad to have you on the show. Glad for you to be here, and we're looking forward to seeing you a lot more. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how your recruiting process started.
Well, this is my first year on varsity, being a sophomore, and I'm just working hard in school, and the recruiting process, I just keep making plays, keep in the film. But I haven't got that lucky yet. But I still have a lot of time to come.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I'm not sure if you have any offers, but we know they'll be coming in pretty soon. Most people wait till the 24, 25 class has started. Tell me, what would you consider a dream school? And if so, what is your list of dream schools?
Well, me being in Louisiana, I would love to go to LSU. LSU would be great.
Yeah.
Mississippi State. To be around here. Oklahoma State. I love to go to places like that.
Tell us a little bit about your track and field accolades. How do you feel? How does that help you in your football career?
Oh, I started working at track around 6th, 7th grade, which really has got me faster, especially my 40 time has definitely increased, and I'm able to open up my hips, jump higher, and become more athletic than other people on the field, which helps me a lot.
Does anybody else want to ask Lawrence a question before I get to my next one?
Sure, Lawrence. Great having you here on the show with us today. What position do you see yourself playing at the next level? And if you can say, offense, defense, special teams, like where you see yourself best fitting in, what kind of system?
Well, I'll probably see myself playing corner in the next level. I'm getting a lot faster, being able to guard those guys, playing a lot more physical. Then that can help me out.
Hey, Lawrence.
Appreciate you for answering that, Lawrence.
Anytime.
Hey, Lawrence, did you say you want to stay around the house? It's not something you want to explore other teams across the country, or you want to stay pretty close to home?
Well, I'll play anywhere, but home is being more preferable, being around my family.
I respect that.
All right. Oh, go ahead, Ant.
No, I was just saying I respect that, wanting to stay close to his family.
Appreciate it.
Family's important.
Indeed.
All right, and Lawrence, finally, tell us a little bit about some of your teammates. Who would you see looking coming out to the next? Who you see looking for us to look for in either your class or maybe ones that are coming out this class?
All right, so they have a good teammate, number 13. He's a corner. Also, we worked a lot together. He made big steps. You could probably check him out, Kimon Foss. He's been doing good out there. They got number 40, Rashad Jackson. He's a linebacker with a high motor, and it's always gonna make that play for her. He gets very emotional when it comes to the game. You could tell that he really loves it. And then coming out of my class, they got 44, Tyler England, where he has a good nose for the ball. Always around, always running around, making the tackles from across the field.
Oh, great. Well, Lawrence, it's been great talking to you tonight. Hopefully you get to stick around and join us on our college game day picks. Is that something you want to do?
Well, yeah, I'll do it.
All right. Well, next up is our Clemson football recap, Clemson versus FSU. Go ahead, Anthony.
Yeah, hey, I'm sorry. Boog said he couldn't hear me. I just wanted to do like a mic check. Can Scott, Cliff, Lawrence, can y'all all hear me right now?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, now I got you. Now I got you, man.
Brother.
Okay.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
And Lawrence, congratulations. Wish you the best of luck. You sound like you got a good head on your shoulders. And I hope you keep growing as a player. And I hope you get into either LSU, Mississippi State, whatever school that you desire, man.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem.
All righty. Well, now we get to our Clemson football recap, Clemson versus FSU. A couple of things that we want to go over is first, Clemson extended its nation's longest active winning streak to 13 games. Clemson also tied the fourth longest winning streak in Clemson history, matching 13-game streaks across both 1939 to 1940 seasons and the 1980 to 81 seasons. Clemson has now opened a season 7-0 for the 10th time in program history. joining the 1948, 81, 2000, 2011, 15, 16, 18, and 19 and 20 seasons. Clemson earned its 15th all-time victory against Florida State and its 6th all-time victory in Tallahassee. Clemson has won third consecutive game at Doak Campbell Stadium for the first time in series history. Clemson improved to 46-2 in its last 48 games against ACC Atlantic Division teams, including games against typical Atlantic Division foes in the division-free season in 2020. Clemson concluded its 2022 road conference slate at 4-0. Clemson improved to 45-7 at night since 2015, including a 26-4 record at night games since the start of the 2018 season. Head coach Dabo Swinney improved to 50-20 in true road games, joining Frank Howard, 72, as the only head coaches to win 50 career road games at Clemson. Some of the game notes: Clemson became the first team to play in the primetime ABC television window in 3 consecutive weeks since 2015 Oklahoma Sooners. Across the first, second, and third quarters, Clemson scored on 6 consecutive drives. It was Clemson's first time scoring on 6 straight drives since the first 6 drives of Clemson's 2020 win against the Citadel. Clemson's run of 6 drives turned into 7-0 deficit into a 34-14 lead. Clemson has now played Florida State 35 times. Clemson scored 30 or more points 6 times in the first 29 games of the series, but has now recorded at least 30 points in each of the team's last 6 meetings. Quarterback DJ Uiagalelei completed 15 of 23 passes for 203 yards with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. DJ also improved to 18-4 as a starter, tying Harvey White 18-7 from 1957 to 1959 for the 12th most wins by Clemson's starting quarterback since World War II. With 203 passing yards in the game, DJ passed Rodney Williams at 4,647 yards from 1985 to 88, and Kyle Parker from 47-39 from 2009 to 2010 for 8th on Clemson's all-time leading career passing yards. The 59-yard pass to Williams was the longest reception of Antonio Williams' career and Clemson's longest play of the season. 59-yard pass to Williams was Clemson's longest pass play since Trevor Lawrence's 67-yard touchdown pass to Amari Rodgers against Notre Dame in 2020. On a 5-yard touchdown run with 19 seconds remaining in the first half, DJ tied his single-season career high set in both 2020 and 2021. Clemson has now rushed for a touchdown in 18 consecutive games since the start of 2018 season. Clemson has scored at least 1 rushing touchdown in 61 of its 62 games. Tight end Jake Brendenstool added to his single-season career high by recording his 4th touchdown reception of the season on a 7-yard pass from DJ in the second quarter. The touchdown catch with the 10th of Allen's career, becoming the 6th tight end in Clemson history to reach 10 career touchdown receptions, joining Jordan Leggett, 18, from 2013 to 16, John Meckin from 69 to 71, Dwayne Allen, 12, from 2009 to 2011, Brandon Ford, 12, from 2009 to 2012, and Benny Cunningham, 10, from 1972 to 75. Clemson was 3 for 3 in the red zone and is perfect 35 for 35 on the red zone scoring this season. Running back Will Shipley recorded a career-high 238 all-purpose yards, including 121 rushing yards on 20 carries, 48 receiving yards on a career-high 6 receptions, and a 69-yard kickoff return. Shipley posted the first 200-yard game in all-purpose yardage in his career. It was also the highest all-purpose yardage total by a Clemson player since Travis Etienne's 264 yards against Boston College in 2020. Defensive end Miles Murphy recorded his 4th sack of the season, the 15th of his career in the first quarter. Murphy's forced the game first turnover, stripping Florida State quarterback Jordan Travis on the ball, Murphy's 2nd sack of the game. Murphy's 2.0 sacks tied his single-game career high set at Wake Forest in 2020 and versus Florida State in 2021. The fumble recovered by defensive tackle Tyler Davis was his first fumble recovery of the season and his 3rd of the career. Cornerback Nate Wiggins finished the game with 2 pass breakups, giving him multiple pass breakups in 3 consecutive games. He became the first Clemson player to record multiple pass breakups in 3 straight games since Kayvon Wallace accomplished this feat against South Carolina, Virginia, and Ohio State late in 2019. Shipley recorded a season-high long 69-yard kickoff return on the opening kickoff of the third quarter. It was 6 yards shy of his career long of 75 set against Louisville last year. Clemson and Florida State entered the game having represented the conference in the ACC championship game 12 of the last 13 years since 2009, Dabo Swinney's first full season as the Tigers head coach. Clemson represented the division or earned divisionless berth in 2020 in the championship game 8 in those last 13 years. Florida represented the division in 4 of the title games, and Wake Forest broke it up last year to gain the berth in 2021. The Tigers and Seminoles have combined for 10 of the last 11 ACC titles. Clemson completed its long set back-to-back true road games on the schedule this season. 4 of Clemson's last 5 regular season games will be played at home, with only Notre Dame being the final away game, not a conference game. That's what I have. Right, Anthony, you want to add anything?
I just want to add something right quick. 4 of the last 5 games at home, that's key. Like, that's awesome because it's easier to win everybody knows that it's easier to win a home game than it is an away game. So,
yes, sir. Yes, sir. Also want to add, we got a week 7 Maxwell Football Player Award of Miles Murphy, 6 tackles, 3.5 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. So I want to congratulate Miles Murphy. I know Dabo Swinney said he was loafing at the beginning of the year, and he's really turned it on these past 2 or 3 games.
That's true. That's true. Now we're going to look ahead and go with Mr. Scott Green from Sports Illustrated. Scott, we're glad to have you here. Like Anthony said, to have someone of your knowledge here with us. We're going to dive into the Syracuse game. Go, take it away, Scott.
Hey, guys. I think this is the most interesting game, kind of the stonewall to decide the Atlantic Division. I think Syracuse is a lot better than we all previously thought in the preseason. So a top 5 versus 15 matchup at Clemson is something we can all look forward to. There's a lot of interesting numbers, and the Florida State game, I think, has people confused on what this Clemson defense is. I know Florida State gained a lot of volume on the ground, but Clemson did a good job in tightening and fitting, getting their whole defensive front healthy for this game. Absolutely established dominance on the line of scrimmage. Florida State stacked the line with 6 guys, stacking either 11 or 12 personnel to add some more beef up front. And the 4 down for Clemson had an absolutely vicious game. It's the reason guys like Miles Murphy earn the awards that they do. Despite that, Clemson's biggest concern defensively here is making sure that safety and linebacker play gets a little more solid in filling the alleyway. And what I mean by that is when a gap fills up, they have to do a better job at run fitting, putting their body in that hole and not getting washed out like they did against Florida State. Now, a majority of the games they've done that. They only allow roughly 80 rushing yards per game, which is absolutely outstanding. Now, the opponent, Syracuse, they're roughly about 90 yards rushing allowed per game. The biggest difference, though, there's only one Will Shipley in the ACC. To me, he's been my preseason favorite running back because despite the offensive line issues Clemson had last year and all the offensive woes, he still was great at producing. I think he's an absolutely outstanding fundamental all-around guy. I think DJU has stepped up in a tremendous way. Early in the first quarter, he made an absolutely outstanding play against Florida State. Gentleman broke through. DJ steps up, his situational awareness off the charts, hits a deep pass for the first touchdown. Going deeper into the numbers, though, Clemson in 2021 roughly was at 26 points per game. Now, they're at 38.6 per game, 21st of the 131 teams. A markedly improvement. I think it's showing DJ's getting more comfortable. The weapons are fitting the pieces are fitting the system. The offensive line is definitely stepping up and coordinating at a good level. Syracuse, though, is no pushover. They have an extremely balanced attack. They average 244 passing yards per game and 180 rushing. They also have a great running back in Sean Tucker, averaging about 5.2 yards per carry, already 644 yards on the year. Now, Garrett Trader's kind of the X factor. If Clemson's linebackers and safeties have issues run fitting and Schrader's on his zone read and is able to split the read between him and Tucker, I can think there's going to be a little bit of give on that Clemson defense. But I think the other big variable in this that's going to heavily weigh in, week 2 was Syracuse's last away game. That was at Connecticut. That's just a hop, skip, and jump over the state line. Coming into the next Death Valley, and Clemson coming in and getting that second week of having all those healthy defensive linemen, especially them working together this week. So now you've had 10 days of practice where everyone is on the same page. Is going to be something I don't see Syracuse overcoming, but I do think it's close early. But I definitely think DJU and his continued growth and Will Shipley either establish a little bit of manipulation with a run game to play action pass, or they just blow them away deep. So I have Clemson in this game, and down to talk any of the numbers with you, Crazy, if you need them.
Go ahead,
Man,
Andrew.
Scott, you must have been looking at my cheat sheet, man. You stole my playbook this week.
I might have snuck around and pulled a few numbers.
Hey, outside of Tucker, Scott, who's another weapon for them, like a receiver or is there another big body guy that can make plays besides Tucker?
Not one that I would concern myself with if I was. LaQuint Allen is pretty solid. He's a true freshman, 15 attempts on the year. Really, it's more of kind of a aggregate by committee. There's a gentleman named Kyle Acker, true freshman. DeMarcus Adams, 1 catch, 1 touchdown, 39 yards. Demarion Adford. I could go on, but really it's receiver by committee. Tucker really is the main concern because he's kind of do-it-all back, kind of the fixer, and Schrader's legs are what's been keeping them, moving forward in the offense.
Not so fast, my friend. Not so fast, my friend. They do have a receiver, a 6'5" guy by the name of Aronde Gaster. He's been a big play threat in the last couple of weeks. I believe against NC State, he had 8 catches for, I think, 140 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, I mean, lots of Sean Tucker, pounding the ball. But don't sleep, man. I think they have maybe one receiver weapon, maybe another slot guy, but for sure 6'5" guy that I think if Clemson's not careful, make sure to have a safety help over the top. This could get kind of spicy.
Gaston is definitely set up for success when the running game is established. That's how they get their balanced attack. But the one thing I would concern myself with if I was Clemson is just making sure you don't lose them in space. They do a good job at getting a Rondé and those, slip out routes that puts them alone in a window. The biggest thing is utilizing those massive guys up front, the Murphys of the world, and really pressuring Garrett to throw the ball either early or not be able to throw the ball at all.
Hey Scott, do you have Schrader's numbers when he's under pressure?
Unfortunately, I don't have his numbers under pressure at this time. One thing I can say, he's somewhat efficient. He's a 76.3 QBR guy. QBR is far from perfect, but it's a good litmus. He doesn't give up the ball a lot. He's thrown for 12 touchdowns. He's again a hybrid guy. The biggest thing is just not letting him slip out. When you isolate him, when you fit your run lanes, and when you hit him, don't let him be the guy that, hey, he sloughs off the first tackle and gets that 8 free yards instead of, a tackle for loss.
Yes, sir. And last week was, I think, our highest missed tackles in a couple of years. I think it was 20-something missed tackles. So we'll definitely have to do a good job of getting our hands around it.
Correct. I think that's the secret sauce to Florida State's success was a lot of watching the backside linebackers and isolating walls. Because, again, they dedicated 6 offensive linemen or 5 linemen and a tight end to mostly blocking, and the line still didn't move. The biggest thing is they planned on washing out or walling off linebackers and safety play, and I think the safety filling from the top end and the backside linebackers failing to fill was kind of the biggest Achilles heel of last week. You fix that, and I don't see this being a problem, but it will be a dogfight for more than half the game.
So Hey, Scott, it's Cliff Kennedy. How you doing, bud? Hello?
Scott, can you hear Cliff?
Can you hear me?
Unfortunately, I can't. I know these Twitter Spaces are, having issues.
Hey, hold on, Cliff. I'm gonna drop you, bring you right back up.
Hold on.
I dropped Cliff. I'll bring him right back up. Cliff, you can hear me. I brought you back up. Just accept it.
Just accept the speaker, Cliff.
I can't.
Okay.
Twitter fixed itself.
Yeah, how you doing, Scott? It's Cliff Kennedy. So how?
Nice to meet you, Cliff.
Yeah, nice to meet you. So, I know Jordan or Travis got last week got away from us a little bit at some points in the game. Does Schrader, when it comes to running the ball, how does he compare to Travis? Like, does he do some of the same things, or is he totally different?
He does.
Well, I'll take that for you. I've watched a little bit more
of
film on Gary Schrader.
Dedicating as many guys to the line. Send it, Boog.
You got Scott. Go ahead.
I do think they're similar in enough capacity that if you rush them and don't keep your running lane secured, that he's going to break loose and cause you problems. I don't think that he's so elite or so fast that it's going to be the single headed you got to worry about. I think the biggest thing is, again, getting those linebackers to commit in tandem with that great defensive front that's now in week 2 of being healthy.
I agree with that. I think our defensive line now getting a second game, and I think Brazil will be in better condition. I think last week we saw he was winded quite a bit, and a lot of that had to do with not being, in the game and a chance to play, full games. I think he's going to be a better fit. And I think that Tyler Davis was a beast on the defensive line. He was back in the backfield all game long, and I think he pushed Travis into Murphy twice. So I really think we got a good chance if we keep our defensive line plays like they should play, and definitely our linebackers was in great shape. I think Anthony had shared something with me about who was it, Anthony, our linebacker? Was it Trotter?
Yeah, I think it was Trotter.
Had the most tackles he's had as a Clemson player. So I think we got a great chance to have a great game this week and really pull one out. And Scott, one thing, have you got anything on their special teams? Because that's one thing that Syracuse has always had is a decent special teams. You got anything on them?
I'll be honest. Give me 2 seconds, and I'll pull up the notes on that.
Okay, thanks.
Hey, while he's doing that, I want to add something. I know that Trotter, Simpson, and Carter, they pulled everybody in from that defensive line, and the whole defense, the back end, everything. They pulled them in, just making sure that they had a players-only meeting, make sure that everybody was bought into what they're trying to do, and make sure everybody's still dialed in. So that's something they did this week. It wasn't coach led, it was player led, and it from what I heard, everything out of it was positive. They just wanted to make sure everybody was dialed in for the second half of the season.
That's a great point, Anthony.
I think it shows character. They think they had a bad game last week. Nick Eason's been on them all week. So I think they just wanted to make sure that, they live up to the hype they had preseason. We got Charlie requesting.
We'll bring him up in just a second. We'll let Scott finish first.
So one thing I'm seeing kind of on the mean is their kickoff return defense is exceptional. They're ranked top 10 in that. I think that's one of the few stats you can just look at the raw yardage and say, okay, they're pretty good. Everything else, they seem kind of middle of the board. I would have to, again, look into, how good are the opponents' special teams? How do they emphasize it? I think the biggest thing to keep reiterating with the Syracuse team is that they're a very front balanced approach with a stout defense that's going to make you earn it. I think the biggest key to success is continue to plug away at DJ's deep game and say, hey, if we got to use Shipley to set it up, or we have to use it to do it, because it is so worth it with how DJ's played and stepped up in that capacity. Because very few guys have the toolbox that DJ has.
All right. Well, I agree. Well, now we'll take it to Anthony with the Clemson depth chart and injury report. Anthony, take it away, brother.
Yes, sir. The only injury we sustained last week at Florida State, we had a Mahoney. I think he's a walk-on guy. I think he tore his ACL, so I think he'll be out for the rest of the season. But he plays on 3 special teams units. But from the depth chart, every week is probably going to be the same unless there's a major injury. So we're going to have BT Potter, punt kicker. We'll have Aiden Swanson at punter. Then we'll have on the offense, we'll have DJ Uyangalele at quarterback, Jordan McFadden at left tackle, Marcus Tate at left guard, Will Putnam at center, Walker Parks at right guard, Blake Miller at right tackle. And man, did I see Blake Miller just bully somebody last week? I'm sorry, I had to put that in there. We got Davis Allen at tight end with Jake Brennenstool as a oar, Joseph Nagata at wide receiver. Then we got Will Shipley at running back, Antonio Williams at wide receiver, and Bo Collins at wide receiver. On the defensive side, we got KJ Henry or Xavier Thomas, Brian Brzee or Rook Ororo. We got Tyler Davis or Rook. We got Miles Murphy at DN or Justin Maskell. Strong side linebacker, we got Barrett Carter. Middle linebacker, we got Jeremiah Trotter or Keith McGuire. Weak side linebacker, we got Trenton Simpson. Cornerback, we got Sheridan Jones or Andrew Makuba. Makuba's floating around between all the corner spots and safety. And strong safety, we'll have one starter, Andrew Makuba or RJ Mickens. Free safety, we'll have Jalen Phillips. And Tyler Venables has entered the lineup this week, so I think that boot's coming off, and maybe he'll back up Jalen Phillips. So we'll have Nate Wiggins at the other corner spot, or Andrew Makuba, or Fred Davis, and that's it from the depth chart.
All right, now we go to the man of the hour. He is the man. Bet on Boog. Boog, give us what you got this week.
Appreciate you, man. It's going to be a great weekend for college football, man. I'm actually going to start with a game I like tonight, App State and Georgia State. Is that tonight or tomorrow night? App State, Georgia State. App State's a 10-point favorite going into the game. Clemson fans, we got your guy, Chase Bryce, man. He's actually out to a great start, 18 touchdowns, 3 picks. Both of these teams, an interesting note, lost by 7 points to North Carolina, man. Week 1, week 2, remember that great game App State had versus UNC? I believe they lost, by 7 points. And then Georgia State also lost week 2 by 7 to North Carolina. So this game's going to be competitive. Georgia State, 6 games of theirs have, out of the 6 games, 5 teams have scored over 33 points. And out of those teams, 4 of them had over 450 yards. So the defense, leaky sieve, I wouldn't want to put my money on it. I'm going to take App State minus 10. Or if you don't like that play, the 58.5 over under. You might see some action there. I think, it might go under Georgia State offense. I just don't see them, their run-based offense. They're going to take some time off the clock. App State can run the ball. They have 2 good running backs, Cam Peoples, Noel, also who was their leading rusher last year, ran for 1,000 yards. So, what you guys think about that, man? App State, Georgia State, man. You riding with the 10 points, or you think App State covers?
Yeah.
This is Syracuse Steve, just reporting live. I think it's Georgia State plus 10.5 personally.
Okay.
They're on a hot streak. They lost their first 4 games of the year.
Yes, sir. They actually, won the last 2.
Yeah, something's up with that. That's close. I think it's Georgia State.
Okay. We just
That's
have to
just
see about
Syracuse
that
Steve's opinion. Nobody else's.
Hey, Boog, I'm gonna have to be a homer. I'm gonna have to go with the Chase Bryce, man. I'm gonna have to go with the Clemson product. I'm going with App State, and apparently I'm going with them. And I'm gonna ride with them all day. I'm betting the house on it. What about you, Jay?
Give me App State. That's my pick.
All right, my second game of the week starting out Saturday.
Yeah, we got Scott and King Cliff.
Oh, my bad, Scott. I forgot Scott and Cliff. My bad.
You're good. Go ahead, Cliff.
Man, hey, I'm going with Ant. I'm a homer, so I'm going with the Chase Bryces. The good old fighting Chase Bryces. So go App State.
Without him, y'all wouldn't have beat my Syracuse Orangeman. People forget that.
That's right. That's why we're riding with them.
So part of me,
Scott.
just because Georgia State's near and dear to my heart, I would like to pick the Panthers, but money-wise, no way. I think App State's the smart call.
All right, going to the second game, man. I was chomping at the bits to get to this one. I heard y'all talking about it earlier. We got Clemson, number 4 in the country, 7-0. We got Syracuse, number 15 in the country, 6-0. The battle of the undefeateds, man. 11 o'clock game. I have no idea how this isn't in prime time. We got the Clemson defense. Oh, actually, no, I'm going to start with Syracuse. Syracuse defense, man. Ranked number 6 in scoring. Not only giving up 13.2 points a game, 268 total yards. Both lead the ACC, which Clemson fans, y'all can't like that, man. Y'all cannot, this game I feel is going to come down to the quarterbacks, Garrett Schrader, DJU. What my guy Scott forgot to tell you guys earlier, man. Garrett Schrader's no local joker like it. This is 3rd year starting. He started at Mississippi State. Got some games in there. This is 2nd year at Syracuse, and I think the game's gonna come down to him, man. That Syracuse D line, they're gonna get some pressure on him. This guy's not accurate when the pressure comes. Again, he's mobile, but he's not as mobile as Jordan Travis. Straight line speed, not as good. So, also in that game, Sean Tucker. He's had some good rushing games this year, but I don't think he's seen a D-line and a linebacking core with just as much team speed and physicalness. I'm taking Clemson. I'm not taking them to cover the 13.5, though. I think that's a lot. I think the play here is the under 49.5. I think there's no way 50 points are scored in this game. This is going to be 2 defenses. It's going to be an ugly game. Run the ball, punt. I see this being a low-scoring affair, but I do like Clemson to win, or like I said, take the under 49.5.
Hey, Bug, I'm gonna have to agree. I'm taking Clemson. I'm hammering the points. I'm hammering Clemson in the points. I think it's close, like Scott says in the first half. I think after halftime, man, Dabo says something to them boys at halftime. They come out swinging. They come out a whole different animal. I think we blow it away in the 3rd quarter. And then we coast like we have been. We'll let off the gas in the 4th, and they'll make it interesting about 2 minutes to go in the 4th quarter. But I'm going with Clemson.
Go ahead, Charlie.
Nothing I didn't expect there, Ant.
Syracuse Steve here. I was, it is interesting. Clemson's had a few tough games recently. 4th game, I think, that's been pretty tough in a row. Noon Eastern time, Boog, or top. We're out here on the East Coast. For all those people who don't always have the newspaper in front of them. But, Garrett Schrader, pretty good. The defensive line, a lot of sacks. Personally, I think it's going to be Clemson sleepwalking, and I'm taking Syracuse money line. That's Syracuse Steve, signing out.
Yeah, so I mean, this is a Clemson show, so I think I'm going to go with Clemson, and I think it'll be very similar to what Ant said. I think our offense will come out a little strong. I think we'll come out strong, and defense will struggle a little bit to try to get used to their defense, and then Dabo will give them a little speech, and we'll pour it on in the second half. So I'm taking Clemson.
Go ahead, Scott.
So I have to agree with Ant. I think, again, it's going to be a dogfight early, and also definitely agree with Boog. You're not going to have the quarterback scrambling issues you had last week. the biggest thing is how Clemson decides to attack the Syracuse front and how Syracuse reacts to their first large away game. Connecticut is not the same as going to Clemson. How Clemson coordinates on the end. I have Clemson. I would say Clemson by 10 for me.
And me as the final, I will go Clemson, and I will go over the points, Boog, not under. I think Clemson pulls away in the fourth quarter.
We're going to have to see about that one, Jay. And just a little extra, just because I like this game of prop bet. Antonio Williams, number 0 for Clemson, and number 80 for Davis Allen, the tight end. On the year, they're combined 5 touchdowns. I like either one of those guys to score this week. Williams, just as that deep threat, I feel like they're going to sleep and lull up in that run game, and that opens it up. And also the tight end, man. How do you not love the tight end, Davis Allen, man? But all right, my next game on the schedule, it's going to be a little bit of a sleeper. I wouldn't, want to watch this game, but I have number 2 Ohio State versus Iowa. C.J. Stroud, 70% completion this year. I think he has 24 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, something crazy like that. His leading receiver, Marvin Harrison, Marvin Harrison Jr., I'm sorry for all us old guys out there. Marvin Harrison Jr., 9 touchdowns on the year. I see this game being a blowout. Spread's 29.5. I see Ohio State covering it. Iowa couldn't score 30 points in practice if you had them on the field by themselves. So I'm just going with Ohio State big here. Iowa's last game, they lost 6-9 to Illinois. They have 2 running backs who have over 50 carries on the season, and they both average less than 100 yards a game. So, I mean, there's no angle. I see Iowa scoring. I see Ohio State scoring a lot. Ohio State.
Yeah, hey, Boog, I agree with you. I don't think there's much to say about this one. I think Ohio State blows them away. I'm not even going to spend much time on it. I got Ohio State and the points.
Yeah, I'm taking Ohio State too. I just don't see it being a game.
Ohio State blows the doors off Iowa, even though their defense has given up less than 10 points a game, and the media narrative is going to be about how stout and gritty this Iowa defense is. It doesn't matter how good your defense is when your offense couldn't move the ball on the scout team. So that's a snoozer. Ohio State by 1 million.
I was just going to say, I'm going to take a nap during that game. That way I don't have to believe that Ohio State's actually a great football team, and we can just enjoy our Saturday. So, Ohio State by 1 million.
Not so fast, you 4. I'm picking Iowa in an upset, close game.
Wow. Jay, are you
I
taking
love it.
are you taking
laugh
Iowa?
at
Are you
that,
taking
man.
Iowa in the
That's-
points?
That's freaking hilarious, Jay.
Yeah, plus 31. That's what
I can see
plus
it being
31.
like 70-2, possibly.
Oh my God, you're funny, Jay. That's why I love you.
Well, mark that
All
down
righty.
as a hey, Boog, before you get on to the next one, mark that down as a loss for Jay for the tallies. All right, I don't know if you're keeping a tally over there as our predictions.
Oh,
Mark that down
definitely.
as a
I'm
loss.
marking it up. Definitely. You best believe it, buddy. I got the spreadsheet going right now. So just in case all you people think you can just make bets and, not listen to the slogan, it's bet with Boog, man. Bet with Boog, man. That's the best option. But if you want to listen to these other guys, hey, next week we'll be back. I had the standings, and we'll just see, man. Remember that Iowa plus 31, man.
Syracuse Steve bets with Boog. Mark that down.
All right, so my next game, little ACC action for you. We got Duke, 4-3 on the season, going up against Miami. Those Hurricanes, Coral Gables Hurricanes. I don't know if they're Miami Hurricanes just yet. They're 3-3 on the season. Interesting note, both teams lost by 3 points to North Carolina, 35-38 for Duke last week. Interesting game. And then Miami also lost 24-27 a week ago. We got 2 quarterbacks. I actually like the matchup, man. TVD, 1,600 yards passing on the season, 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. But also his counterpart, Riley Ferguson, he's no slouch either. He averages 9 TDs. He has 9 touchdowns, 4 interceptions on the season. He also adds 60 yards rushing the game. So I think that'll be the difference in the game. Miami's quarterback, some say he's good, some say he's not. I think Duke's quarterback a little bit better. I'm taking Duke plus the 8.5, little underdog action right there. Duke has 3 wide receivers on the season that average 40 yards a game, a well-balanced passing attack. So I think you'll see Riley Ferguson throw it around, get the offense moving and grooving. But for Miami, they're not just talentless. They do have a secret weapon. His name is Kobe Young, 6'5" receiver. He's played 2 games on the year. In those 2 games, he has 12 catches, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And those 2 games were the last 2 weeks. So, Miami's on a bit of a hot streak. They got their flavor back. The fans are picking them. They're feeling 9-3 title game-ish again. So, but actually, I'm taking Duke this week, 8.5. So you guys have at it.
Yes, sir, Boog. The troll in me wants to pick Duke in the 8.5, but my brain says, Boog, I can't bet with you on this one. I'm going with Miami, and I'm going with them to cover.
Is this game at
man.
Duke?
Not so fast, guys. Go Dukies. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah,
Go
I think we know what's going on. Hurricane season's over.
Yep.
It's Duke Duke's winning this.
Yeah, for sure.
I do, Boog, you gave me some good stats right there on both sides, but the 3 receivers averaging 40 yards a game, I can easily see them airing it out on them. I won't be mad about it.
Yeah, I don't think this one's going to be, 8.5 is just a lot. Again, these teams had a common opponent. Both of them played North Carolina. And just from my vantage point, Duke wasn't a pushover, man. They have a little fight in them. Again, they're 4-3 on the season. They're trying to get closer to, bowl eligibility, man. I see this game. 8.5 is just a lot. 2 scores. Give me 2 scores in Duke.
Let me ask you this. Did Duke score more on North Carolina?
They did.
Yeah, they did. They scored 35-38. North Carolina was 24-27.
All right. Well, bet with Boog. I changed my mind. Bet with Boog.
Scott?
I think Boog hit this one on the head. I don't have a lot of faith that Miami really recovers this quickly for the season. I think there's just too much going on. Duke is extremely balanced for what they are. They're gritty. I think the 8.5 Duke is the right call.
I say the little blue devil spikes that seagull and throws him in the ocean. Give me Duke.
Jay's wild with it. Hey, go ahead, Boog. What else you got for us? What's pick number 3 or 4?
Man, my next game, it is nothing. I can't even go too deep in this, man. I tried to find different angles and but this one is just a homer. I got Texas Tech 3-3 on the season going against West Virginia. They're both 3-3. Man, I listened to the pregame interviews and the head coach told me, Mr. Joey McGuire, Texas high school coach and legend, that this week, if Tyler Show is healthy, we will see 3 quarterback system used in the college football game. Give me Texas Tech, man. 3 quarterbacks in one game. I don't care what West Virginia has. JT Downs, he's a good quarterback. They have a couple of weapons. But you're telling me a coach is going to use 3 quarterback system in a college football game? Give me that team. I'm taking Texas Tech to cover the -7 touchdown game, Big 12 action, man.
Man,
Go ahead,
JT
Cliff.
Daniels sucks, man. West Virginia sucks. I'm going with Texas Tech. I got a buddy who's a Texas Tech fan, or a Texas Tech grad, and I don't know, man. I just think JT Daniels sucks. That's just the way I feel.
Yeah,
I'm right with you.
Cliff, I'm gonna have to rock with you on that. I think JT Daniels, Georgia Bulldog reject. That Georgia, he was so bad Georgia didn't want him. So I'm going with Texas Tech big. Let's go.
Did you say they're running 3 quarterbacks at West Virginia?
That's what Boog said.
No,
Texas
Tech. Texas Tech.
Texas Tech is running 3
They've been using a 2 quarterback system, but they get their starter back this week. He's practiced all week, and the head coach, Joey McGuire, said, hey, if he's healthy, we will see 3 quarterbacks. If not, we will definitely see 2 quarterbacks. So I want to see 3 quarterbacks. Hopefully he puts all 3 on the field at the same time. We get like a triple reverse pass, some Big 12 action, but definitely 3 quarterbacks, give it to me.
Yeah.
My great-grandmother-in-law is a Texas Tech grad. I got to go with them. She was near and dear to my wife's heart. I think they show a lot of fight, and any team willing to put 3 different quarterbacks out there has a lot of confidence that all of them are ready to take a snap on any play, any down. So I got to go Texas Tech.
I hate to go against Granny, but I think West Virginia. I think the line of 7's a little close. Something's odd. I'm going WVU. They had some moonshine get imported. They're good, and by import I mean taking down the mountain.
Give me the Mountaineers. They're going to come down the mountain, and they're going to tuck them, and they're going to beat them, and they're going to slide them everywhere, and they're going to take it. Give me the Mountaineers. Not so fast.
Jay, you really are crazy. I thought you were crazy, but now I know you're crazy.
You're like a healthy Corso.
All right, my next game, as you know, if you couldn't tell by the Abby, big Longhorn fan here. We got the number 22 Longhorns, 5-2 on the season, going up against Oklahoma State, who's number 8 in the country, 5-1 on the season. Minus 6 points here. Texas is actually the favorite as the lower-ranked team, which you almost never see. We got Quinn Ewers leading the way, 9 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the season. And this game was interesting to me. I have to keep my heart out of these situations, which it's kind of hard to do when gambling. But this game opened at Texas -3. So many of us Texas fans rushed and bet our monies on it that this game is bet up to -6. That's interesting to know here. Also, QB for Jesus, I just went blank here. QB Sanders for Oklahoma State. Last game he went 11 for 36. Versus TCU, 68 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, but he got a little banged up. So right now Mike Gundy's not really saying if he's going to play this week or not. But their backup, interesting note, a guy by the name of Gunnar Gundy. Yes, I said Gunnar Gundy. He is the son of Mike Gundy. He's a walk-on. He actually had some game action last week. He led a scoring drive versus TCU, 3 plays, 69 yards, but he didn't do anything but hand off the ball. So if he doesn't play, if Spencer Sanders doesn't play this week and Gunner's the guy coming in, hammer Texas. Texas wins big. But if he does play, then I think this game will be kind of close. Spencer Sanders, no slouch, is his 4th year playing against Texas. So my pick for this game is actually not on the spread. I'm taking Texas money line. $250 will win you $100. So, throw a couple of, $250s on there, get you some money. I'm taking Texas to win.
Yes, sir, Boog. I'm going to have to ride with you, Quinn Ewers. He was, one injury away from beating Bama. We all seen it. I think this team's a lot better than what we expected at the beginning of the year. So I'm going to ride with Texas on this one.
I'm right there with you, Ant. I'm riding with Texas on that one, too. So I don't know much about either team, but I'm riding with Texas.
Yep, they look shaky against Iowa State, but I think if it's -6, that's interesting. I don't know. Is it at Oklahoma State?
It is. It is at Oklahoma State.
They must not be thinking he's going to play. I mean, it's pretty close. All right, we'll go.
I'm thinking that's what it is, man. A lot. Gundy's been reluctant to even when they asked him about if Spencer Sanders was going to play. He said, "Look, I don't talk about injuries or what players are going to play. You'll see my lineup closer to game time." So, anytime a coach comes out and says things like that, I'll just take it as he's not going to play. And the backup, like I said, man, a walk-on, a redshirt freshman, his son Gunnar Gundy. I mean, I know he loves his boy, but this might be a bad time to introduce him to the world.
Gotta agree on that. I think it's also a big telltale sign when a team, ranked a little lower than another is favored, especially at their place. I think those are things to consider. I think Quinn's getting in his groove. I know he's hurt early in that Alabama game. I think he's going to keep getting better, and he will have his slumps, but his slumps are a lot better than most people's good days.
Oh, another interesting tidbit I forgot to tell you, Texas also gets another weapon back, another Alabama transfer, Jaleel Billingsley. He's off a suspension. He's been suspended the first, I think, 6 games of the season. He's back. That's another weapon. And that's 2 tight end sets, man. We know Sark loves his 2 tight end sets. He has that second guy now. I'm just saying, hammer Texas. If it was me, I'd bet my children's tuition on it because it's going to get ugly. Ain't crazy? Y'all want to pick that game, Scott?
Well, yeah, no, totally agree with you. I think Texas being the undervalued here, but being the points favorite tells the whole story.
Jay, what you got for us?
Unless Oklahoma State rolls out Gunner Stockton, the only gunner I'm picking is going to be the one that's throwing it for Texas. Give me Texas in this game.
Let's go, hook 'em. All righty, finishing up here. I got another 3, maybe 4 games for you. We got another top 10 or top 25 matchup. UCLA number 11 in the country, 6-0, going against Oregon, who's number 12 in the country, 5-1. Both teams are coming off a bye, which is interesting, man. They had time to game plan. This would be a great game. Both teams are also the only undefeated teams left in the Pac-12 in conference play. So this is basically your conference championship. We got Chip Kelly, the whole storyline. You know, he built Oregon, but the crazy thing is he's 0-3 versus Oregon. He's never beaten them. His last 2 losses in 20 and 21 by 3 points. He got 2 good quarterbacks in this matchup, Bo Nix, DTR. Both of them completing over 70% of passes. DTR's at 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, number 1 in the Pac-12. He also has a great running back by the name of Zach Charbonnet, 615 yards on the season, averaging 7.1 yards a carry. I said that right, 7.1 yards a carry. 5 games this year, he had 6 touchdowns. Bo Nix, crazy thing on the season, 331 rush yards, 8 touchdowns. He's actually one of the top rushers in the Pac-12. Oregon has 3 of the top 12 rushers in the Pac-12. We have Bucky Irvin, a running back, who's number 12. We have Noah Whittington, another running back, who's number 11. And we have Bo Nix, the 6th best rusher in the Pac-12. And people tell me they play defense in the Pac-12. That's crazy. This game, I'm going with Oregon -6. I think the defense here is going to be the difference. UCLA, good story, nice program. They've been having a great year. But I think that Oregon team, man, people have been counting them out since they took that butt whooping to Georgia. This is not going to be that, man. I think they even the score here. Chip Kelly gets another loss versus the old program. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm going to have to disagree with you, Boog. I'm going to have to go with UCLA. I think they're on a power run right now, and I think Georgia just broke Oregon. So I don't care what kind of run they've had since Georgia. I'm going to go with UCLA.
I think if you're a Pac-12 fan, you have to root against Bo Nix because we know he's not good, and the fact that he's doing so well out there would be concerning for the competitiveness of our conference. So, luckily, some teams are leaving. Luckily for them. But I think it's gotta go UCLA then. Chip Kelly's got them rolling. Revenge game.
Yeah, Bo Nix sucks. That's all I gotta say. Didn't like him at Auburn and don't like him now, even though he's having a good season. Everyone has a good season every once in a while. And so I'm pulling against Bo Nix and going with UCLA.
Cliff, I thought for a second you were going to call him by his nickname, but I'm glad you saved that for later.
Boog, I'm going to join the dark side with you. I think Oregon's been overlooked. I think Justin Flo, Nick Sewell are tremendous, linebackers. I don't like Bo Nix necessarily because he always wanted to win. Georgia whipped his butt, but at the end of the day, I think he's playing some great football. But I think UCLA trips up here against the Ducks.
What we got, Crazy? Enough said. All right, moving on, man. And another snoozer. If I could pick neither one of these teams, I probably would. I don't even want to say the game. I'm mad that, it's come to this, but we got the Texas A&M Fighting Aggies, 3-5 on the season, going up against the South Carolina, I don't know if I should say this, South Carolina Gamecocks. Gamecocks, that's what we're going with. Okay, 4-2 on the season.
You could say lame
the favorite in this team, in this game.
You could say lame cock.
Yeah, I'm just not used to. I got to get used to that one. Gamecock.
Lame cock. There you go.
We got the Aggies actually the favorite in this game at 3.5 points. Both teams are 1-2 in SEC play. I don't know, man. I'm sad that it comes down to this. South Carolina has never beaten A&M since they started playing in 2014. I want to pick them so bad. Like, my heart wants to pick the Gamecocks so bad. But
Don't do
I'm
it.
going to have to pick
Don't
the
do it.
Aggies. I'm going to pick the Aggies, man. I think they cover the 3.5, man. The Gamecocks has been on the roll. But Devin A. Chain, man, 528 yards on the year, 3 touchdowns. I think this is just a different level of speed here that they're going to deal with. The Gamecocks did, show the country a lot, upsetting Kentucky last week, holding Chris Rodriguez, pretty much in check. They held him to only 1 run over 20 yards, which was amazing, man. Nobody would have predicted that to happen, but Devin A. Chain, man, he's a different level athlete. As many of you know, he's an Olympic sprinter, track and field times out of this world. So if you're not patient and covering those gaps, he can cut it back and take it to the house. He has 3 games this year where he's ran for 100 yards. Arkansas, Mississippi. No, actually 2. 3, Arkansas and Mississippi State. So I think this will be his 3rd here versus South Carolina Gamecocks. I got A&M and Haynes King winning and covering the 3.5.
Yep, I'm gonna be one of the 12 men, just because I hate Carolina. Man, what the hell?
As an unbiased Syracuse Steve, it will be fun to watch them play. The SEC football, the speed they got over there. I mean, it's nice to get to watch that on TV every now and then. But I've been watching them Gamecocks, and they got that running back, and I mean, he's pretty good. And they got that safety, who's the best run defensive safety in the nation. He's pretty good too. But they might just pull it out. I'm biased, but I'm gonna have to say Gamecocks. That's Syracuse Steve, in my opinion.
Go ahead, Scott, then I'll go.
I think the Aggies narrowly pull it away. I don't like Jimbo's offensive system, but Boog nailed it. You have A-Chain, Evan Stewart, guys that have tremendous athletic prowess that I don't know if South Carolina's seen since week 3. I think there's a lot that South Carolina has to look forward to under Coach Shane Beamer, but I think the athlete-to-athlete matchup is a little too much. But I don't think A&M covers. I just see A&M winning by 1.5 late.
Yeah, I had to go with Texas A&M on this one. I think Marshawn Lloyd's been good these past couple weeks for South Carolina, but I think he has an off game these next month, end of the season. I think he don't finish strong against some teams at the end. I'm not gonna mention what teams he plays at the end, but I'm gonna have to go with Texas A&M big, and Marshawn Lloyd transfers to Clemson.
We can't let the Cock Commanders get this win, or they'll turn into Tennessee fans and think they're back.
That would be terrible.
You're definitely right about that, man. I don't know which one I'd rather do, root for the Gamecocks or root for the Aggies, but this game I'm probably not watching, man. I'll just hear about it.
Go Aggies.
Yeah, I ain't watching that Texas game. I gotta figure out what
Mute
game
that
I'm
damn
watching.
Gamecock. Mute that Gamecock sound. Come on now, that thing sounds like a dang dead chicken.
Give me the Gamecocks in this game. That's right. You heard me say it. Give me the Gamecocks. I'm not rooting for no 12 guys cheerleading and talking to each other like they bunch of fools. Ain't no way.
You're so full of crap.
Hey, Cliff, you know why he said that?
I can
Because
agree
he
with
hates
that.
Jimbo. That's why he says that. He hates Jimbo.
Unbiased
He's
as
been
I
pulling
am,
all
I can agree
season.
with that. Crazy.
He don't like Jimbo. That's his problem. Well, I wouldn't bet
All right,
I
well,
wouldn't
there
bet
you
your
have
house
it.
on
Those
that.
are my 10 picks. Bet on Boog. Just for another quick rundown, we got App State -10. We have Clemson taking the under or the points, either one. We have Ohio State at -29.5. We have Oregon -6 winning over UCLA. I have Texas money line over Oklahoma State. Texas Tech winning over West Virginia -7. Duke +8.5 over Miami. And yeah, man, bet with Boog. We'll be back next week. I appreciate you guys having me here, kicking it, man. And some of you guys are gonna have to answer for these picks. Cliff, I got you locked in on some of these bets. Anthony, crazy picking Iowa at 31. I mean, we're gonna see, man. Bet with Boog, bet on Boog. Appreciate you guys having me tonight.
Bet with Boog.
Hey, Boog, we appreciate you coming on. Next week we'll recap, see who's winners and losers, and we'll keep a season total. at the end. Maybe we'll put a little prize up.
Yeah,
Just to let everybody know, we are going to do that. Anybody here that wants to bet on Boog, Boog's picks will be on our site. There will be a place where you can put in your name and your picks for Boog, either for or against, doesn't matter. And in November, each week we are going to be giving away prizes to everybody that has a chance to beat Boog in the picks. We will have a system, and we'll get with Boog on that. And whoever wins each week, there will be prizes, gift cards. We got Clemson mugs. We got a little bit of everything. So we're going to be giving away some good stuff. And just wanted to let everybody know that. And Anthony wanted to add something since Boog is here, a little Texas segment. That's right. We're going to give a little Texas flavor. And if Scott wants to give a little Georgia flavor, we could do that too. We just wanted to open that up. And Anthony, I'll let you do it since this was your idea.
Jay. Hello?
Yeah.
So I was just going to tell you, those picks will be on our website, winningedgesportsnetwork.com, and it'll be /picks. So that's winningedgesportsnetwork.com/picks. So I'll have those up sometime, either early morning or sometime after lunch.
Sounds great, Cliff. Appreciate you, man.
Yes, sir.
Hey Scott, Bud, we'll start that next week. If y'all could just next week about 5-10 minutes each, or however much y'all want to dedicate to it. I'd like to know about y'all's games each week. You know, maybe a breakdown and maybe a score prediction in your games outside of the spreads.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, no doubt, man. You know I'll be tuned in.
That way we can get y'all involved. You know, you don't feel like you're just talking about Clemson. You can talk about your own teams too, because we're all college football fans.
Yeah, tuned up, tuned in.
And we might even allow Charlie to speak too.
That's Syracuse.
Oh, wait a minute.
I don't know.
I was about to say, someone said South Carolina's going to act like they're back. My question is, when were they?
Hey.
I'm kidding.
Syracuse.
Steve Spurrier was a bad – Steve Spurrier ruined a lot of my Saturdays, so I can't say
Dino
much.
Babers, Coach of the Year. Mark it down.
And maybe we can get Nurse to give us a little LSU flavor too. We'll see about that. Her and Bank. Bank giving some Georgia. But anyway, I just want to thank everybody for coming on tonight. Great show, guys. And sorry for my hilarious. I don't know if it was hilarious. My stupidity from every 5 minutes. But anyway, great to have you guys. Great information. And we'll see each other next week on Tuesday Tiger Talk Show. Sponsored by Winning Edge Sports Network.
Yep. Go Tigers.
All right, see you, gentlemen.
I
Go
appreciate
Dogs.
you guys for having me, man.
Crazy. I want to say go Tigers, but we can't let the fake Death Valley up here.
No, can't play that dead chicken.
Leave Nurse alone.
Come on now. No chicken.
Go Tigers. Thank
Go
y'all.
Tigers.
Thank you, Bug. Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Cliff.
Go Tigers.
Thank you,
Yep.
Nurse. Thank you, everybody. Thank y'all.
Go real
Yeah.
Tigers, not the LSU Tigers.
Yeah. Go Clemson Tigers. Talk to you guys later.
Hey there, athletes and parents. Looking for a tool to help your child get recruited? Look no further than Clifton Kennedy and Winning Edge Digital, with websites for high school athletes. So whether you play football, basketball, baseball, soccer, or any sport, we cover it all. These websites have everything you need to get started on your journey to becoming a collegiate athlete. Check out Clifton Kennedy and Winning Edge Digital with websites for high school athletes. That's winningedgedigital.com. You can call us at 864-272-2720. Again, that's 864-272-2720.